Hello everyone and welcome to Skein Spider. Over the last couple of weeks, one of the projects I've been working on and off has been making mini amigurumi critters. You can see some of them now. I've got a jar full. I plan to keep going until this jar is full. A few of them are older patterns, the octopus, the turtle and the whale, so they all have patterns out already on my channel. But what I would like to know is if you guys want to see patterns for the rest of the critters, the ones that are already in the jar. I don't know how well you can see them, but there's a fox, an axolotl, an owl and a seal, and I do have more planned, so let me know if you would like to see those patterns. But today we are going to be making a chameleon, so if you would like to make your own, grab your hooks and let's get started. To make a mini chameleon, you're going to need a 3.5mm hook, scissors, stitch markers, a needle, pins, stuffing, 8-ply yarn in a colour of your choice, as well as a pair of 12mm safety eyes and a pipe cleaner, although the pipe cleaner is optional. We're going to start off our mini chameleon by putting 6 single crochet in a magic circle. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then close that up. For round 2, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and repeat that 3 times. In the first stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch is where we pop our increase, and an increase is just 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So I'm putting 1 single crochet, go back into the same stitch, 2 single crochet, and that is my increase. I'm going to repeat that twice more. Round number 3 is 2 single crochet, 1 increase, repeated 3 times. In round 4, what we're going to do is begin shaping the chameleon's head, and to do this, to make it a nice triangle shape, instead of using the increases that we've previously used, which is the 2 single crochet in the same stitch, we're going to do 3 single crochet in the same stitch as our increase. In the written pattern down below, I abbreviate this to 3SC, 3 single crochet, ISS, which stands for in same stitch. So going forward, whenever you see 3SC, ISS in the written pattern, that means put 3 single crochet in the same stitch as your increase. But we will be going through this round together if you found that a little bit confusing. So round 4 is going to be 3 single crochet, then 3 single crochet in the same stitch, repeated 3 times. And that means we begin by just doing 3 single crochet, 1 stitch marker in, 2, and there we go, 3. And then in the next stitch is my increase, which is 3 single crochet in the same stitch. Go into that stitch, do 1 single crochet, go into that stitch for a second time, single crochet, and then we're going to go into that stitch once more and single crochet again. So all up, we've put 3 single crochet in that 1 stitch. We're going to repeat this pattern twice more, 3 single crochet, and 3. In the next stitch, we're going to put 3 single crochet in the same stitch, 1, back into the same stitch, 2, back into the same stitch again for 3, and then finally 3 more single crochet, and our final 3 single crochet in the same stitch, 1, back into the stitch, 2, and back into the stitch for a final time, 3. And you can see how we've sort of started to get this nice triangle shape. For round 5, we're going to do 18 single crochet in total. After round 4 and those 3 single crochet in the same stitch increases, we should now have 18 stitches in our round. For round 6, we're going to do 5 single crochet and then 3 single crochet in the same stitch, repeated 3 times. Round 7 is just 24 single crochet. Round 8 begins with 5 single crochet. And then in the next stitch, we're going to do a 3 single crochet in the same stitch. 1, 2, and in the same stitch 3. After this, we're going to repeat 6 single crochet, 3 single crochet in the same stitch twice. After you've done that second 3 single crochet in the same stitch, you should have 4 stitches left in your round. And we're going to single crochet into each of those. 1, 2, 3, and 4. After round 8, you should now have 30 stitches in total in your round, and both rounds 9 and 10 are each going to be 30 single crochet. Round 11 is going to be worked in the back loop only, and the back loop is the part of the stitch that's furthest away from you. So if you think of each individual stitch as a little V shape, they all look like little V's. The part at the back here, furthest away from us, is where we want to be working into. We're going to begin round 11 by doing 5 single crochet in the back loop. Two, 3, 4, and 5. And after that 5th single crochet, we're going to single crochet 3 together. Normally when I single crochet 3 together, I use both the back and the front loop, but in this case, because the instructions say to use the back loop only, we're again only going to be working into the back loop. To do a single crochet 3 together, we're going to go into the first back loop, yarn over and pull through, go straight into the second back loop, yarn over and pull through, go into the third back loop, yarn over and pull through, and at this point you should have 4 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're then going to yarn over for a final time and pull through all 4 of those loops. Round 11 continues with 6 single crochet, then a single crochet 3 together done twice, and we're still working in the back loops only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Single crochet 3 together, go into the next back loop, yarn over, pull through, go into the back loop after that, yarn over, pull through, the next back loop, yarn over, pull through, have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. Do that once more. And 6 single crochet 3 together, first back loop, second back loop, and third back loop, 4 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 4. At this point we should have 4 stitches left in our round, and we're just going to single crochet into those, except nope, I did that wrong, we're using the back loop only still. 3, 4. For round 12, we're back to working in both loops. We're going to begin by doing 10 single crochet. And 10. And then what we're going to do is 3 decreases in a row. To do an invisible decrease, you're going to go under the front loops of the next 2 stitches. And before we worked in the back loop, which was the part of the stitch that was furthest away from us, the front loop is the part of the stitch that is closest to us. So this part here. We're going to go under the first front loop, straight under the second front loop. You're going to yarn over and pull through both of those front loops. And at this point you should have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through both of those. So that was our first decrease. We're going to decrease twice more. Under the front loop of the next stitch, under the front loop of the stitch after that, yarn over and pull through both of those, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. One more time under the front loop of the next stitch, under the front loop of the stitch after that, yarn over, pull through the front loops, then yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. And that is our decreasing done for this round. We're just going to finish off round 12 by doing 8 single crochet. When round 12 is finished, I'm just going to take out my hook and secure my end because we're going to insert the safety eyes. The top of the head is this section here where we just did those 3 invisible decreases. So the start/end of our round here marked with our stitch markers, that's the bottom of our chameleon. This is the top. So when you insert your safety eyes, be aware of that because when we crochet the feet later on, they're going to be here. So we'll leave that there. And I'll grab my eyes and we're going to insert the eyes between rounds 6 and 7. Start at round 1 and just count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You're going to pop the eyes in. And where you want to place them exactly, how far up or down the head is entirely your choice. Just have a play around, see what looks best. And what you will want to do is when you have inserted both eyes, just look at your chameleon from the front and make sure they're level. So with my eyes, this one here is probably sitting a little bit too low. So I'm going to move that up a stitch. And you know what? I think I'm going to try 14mm eyes. This yarn I'm using, while it is 8 ply, it's actually a little bit thicker than the usual 8 ply yarn I use. So I'm going to bump up my eye size and see if that looks a bit cuter. So let's have a go. Yeah, you know what? I kind of like that better. So just for reference, if you're curious, these are 14mm safety eyes. So I'm going to use those instead. When you're happy with the placement of your eyes, go ahead and click the backs on. And then we're going to continue with round 13. Round 13 is worked in the front loop only. Again, that is the part of the stitch that is closest to us. And we're going to do 10 single crochet, 3 increases in a row, and then 8 single crochet. In round 14, we're going to begin crocheting the legs, and to do that, we're going to use a popcorn stitch. To make things a little bit easier, I'm going to be breaking up the written pattern down the bottom into parts A, B, and C. So we're going to start with round 14, part A, and we begin by doing just 4 single crochet. And 4. And then in the next stitch, we're going to create our popcorn stitch, which makes the leg. To do a popcorn stitch, we begin by putting 5 double crochet in the same stitch. To do a double crochet, you're going to begin by yarning over, going into the stitch, yarning over, and pulling through. At this point, you should have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops, and this will leave you with 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over for a final time and pull through both of those loops. And that's our first double crochet. We need to repeat this in the same stitch 4 more times. Yarn over, go into the same stitch, yarn over and pull through. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through just the first 2, 1 and 2, yarn over for a final time and pull through both of those loops. That was number 2. We need to do a third, yarn over, go into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2. Once more, yarn over into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2. And that was 4. I hope that was 4. I've lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that was 4. Okay, we're going to do our 5th and final double crochet. Yarn over into the stitch, same stitch, yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3 loops, yarn over, first 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. So that is the first part of the popcorn stitch, our 5 double crochet all in that one stitch. What we're going to do now is gently pull up with our hooks. So we create a large loop here, and you want to be careful at this point that you don't tug on your working yarn. We don't want this loop to come undone. You're then going to take your crochet hook and insert it into the first double crochet that we did from front to back, so pushing it in that way. If you're a bit confused as to which is your first double crochet, just count backwards from the last one you did. So this is our last one here, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. So I'm going to insert my hook under the front and back loop of that first one. I'm then going to take this large loop we left and I'm going to place it on the head of my hook. Once it's on my hook, I'm going to then tug on my working yarn, the piece of yarn that is attached to my skein. So I'm going to tug on that so it tightens the loop against my hook. And once that's nice and tight, you're going to pull that loop through the first double crochet as if you were making a slip stitch. So I'm just going to pull that through. The final step of creating our popcorn stitch is going to be to chain 1. And it's really important that you remember to chain 1 at the end, because it's this chain 1 stitch we've just made that we'll be working into in the next round. So that is our popcorn stitch complete, and we're still on round 14 part A. The final part of that is to do 5 more single crochet. The next stitch you need to work into may be hidden by your popcorn stitch. What you're going to do is just nudge that gently aside so you can see the next free stitch where we need to work into. Bring the head of your hook down to that stitch and we're going to single crochet. That's our first one, and we need to do 4 more single crochet for our 5 in total. And 5. Round 14 part B is just going to be 1 single crochet, 1 increase repeated 3 times. After that 3rd increase, we're going to begin round 14 part C. That begins with just 6 single crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to do our 2nd popcorn stitch. Again, we're going to begin with 5 double crochet. Four, and again into the same stitch, 5. Once you've done those 5 double crochet, pull up with your hook, making a large loop. Insert your hook into the first double crochet, counting backwards if you need to, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Insert your hook from front to back. Take the loop you've left, place it on the head of your hook, and then tighten that up. We're going to pull that loop through the first double crochet as if we were slip stitching, and then we're going to finish by chaining 1. The final part of round 14 part C is just 1 single crochet. So we should have 1 stitch left. We're just going to bring our hook down to that and single crochet into there. After round 14 and all its individual parts, we should have 27 stitches in total in our round. Round 15 is just going to be 27 single crochet. However, we need to work into each of the chain ones that we did in our popcorn stitches. So we're going to start off by doing 4 single crochet, because in round 14 part A, we began with 4 single crochet before we did that first popcorn stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The next stitch we need to work into for stitch number 5 is going to be the chain we did at the end of our popcorn stitch. So if you bring that close and focus up, you can see that there, that's the chain we made. So we're going to work into that for our 5th single crochet. And from here, we're just going to continue single crocheting all the way around until we get to our next popcorn stitch. The next stitch I need to do, so I've single crocheted all the way around, the next stitch I need to do is in the chain from my popcorn stitch. I'm just going to go into there and single crochet. And then because we finished off round 14 part C with 1 single crochet, we've just got 1 more single crochet to go. So I'm going to single crochet into there. After round 15 is finished, I'm going to take out my hook again and secure that end, and I'm just going to begin adding stuffing to the head. You want to stuff the head fairly firmly, however you want to maintain the triangle shape as well. So make sure you push quite a bit of stuffing into each point, the point on the top of the head and the 2 points on the side here. When you've added all your stuffing to the head, we're going to continue with round 16. Round 16 is going to begin with 10 single crochet. Then we're going to repeat 2 single crochet, 1 increase 3 times, and finish off the round with 8 more single crochet. After round 16, we should now have a total of 30 stitches in our round, and rounds 17 all the way through to 20 are each going to be 30 single crochet. Round 21 begins with 12 single crochet, then we're going to repeat 2 single crochet, 1 decrease 3 times, and finish the round with 6 single crochet. In round 22, we're going to create our back legs, and we're again going to be doing this by using popcorn stitches. We're going to begin round 22 with 6 single crochet. And in the next stitch, we're going to do our first popcorn stitch. So the first step to that is doing 5 double crochet in the same stitch. Pull up with your hook. Insert your hook from front to back into the first double crochet. Place the loop on your hook and then tighten the loop up. Pull it through the first double crochet and chain 1. After the first popcorn stitch, we're going to do 19 single crochet. Just remember, if you need to see your next stitch, nudge your popcorn stitch aside so you can work into the next free one. After crocheting those 19 single crochet, we should only have 1 stitch left, and this is where we're going to place our second popcorn stitch. Make 5 double crochet in that stitch. 1. Pull up with your hook. Insert your hook into the first double crochet. Place the loop on and then pull it through and chain 1. Round 23 is going to be 27 single crochet all the way around. Just remember, like we've done previously, you will need to be working into the chains at the end of each popcorn stitch. Round 24 is 12 single crochet, then 1 single crochet, 1 decrease repeated 3 times, and we're going to finish off with 6 single crochet. After round 24, I'm just going to stop and I'm going to stuff the body. When that's done, we're going to continue with round 25, which is 6 single crochet, followed by 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, repeated 6 times. Round 26 is 6 single crochet, followed by 6 decreases. At the end of round 26, we should have 12 stitches in total in our round, and both rounds 27 and 28 are each 12 single crochet. If you would prefer, you can just do 24 single crochet consecutively. When we're done with round 28, we're going to take another stuffing break, and we only need to add a little bit here. And how you proceed from this point is going to depend on how you want your tail to look. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to crochet the tail. I'm not going to be adding stuffing to that. And then when it's finished, I'm going to curl my tail up and sew it to the back. However, if you like, you can continue stuffing the tail and leave it as it is. Or if you would like to make your tail posable, you can not add stuffing, but instead when we get to the end, add a pipe cleaner, and that will make your tail posable. You're going to have to decide what option works best for you, and then just figure out what you're going to do from there. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit more stuffing. Round 29 is 4 single crochet and a decrease repeated twice. Rounds 30 through to 34 are each 10 single crochet. So that is 5 rounds of 10 single crochet, and if it's easier, just do 50 single crochet consecutively. Round 35 is 3 single crochet and a decrease repeated twice. And then rounds 36 through to 40 are each 8 single crochet. Round 41 is 2 single crochet, 1 decrease repeated twice. And then rounds 42 all the way to 51 are each 6 single crochet. When you're finished, you're going to need to cut a tail of yarn. However, the length you'll need to cut is going to depend on how you approach the tail. For me, I'm going to be curling this up and sewing it to the back of my chameleon, so that's why I've left a bit of an extra long tail. But if you are adding a pipe cleaner or you just plan to leave your tail as it is, you can cut a shorter tail and just weave that in. What we're going to do now is close up this hole. So for that, you're going to need to grab your needle. We're going to thread the tail end through that. If you're using a pipe cleaner or a bit of wire, you could use that as well. You're going to need to add that first. So do that and then thread your needle. To close up this little hole, we're going to go under the front loops of each of the last 6 stitches. Start from behind your front loop, push your needle under it and forward towards you. And just repeat that for each stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then just tug on the yarn to close up that hole. At this point, if you're leaving your tail so it's posable, just weave your needle in through the center of that hole and continue to weave it in through the tail and body to skewer it. If you're like me and you're planning to roll the tail up and sew it, we're going to do that now. Just begin at the tip of the tail and as tightly as you want, you're going to roll your tail up towards the body. And this can be a little tricky, so what I'm going to do is grab my pins and I'm going to just push them straight through as many layers as I can. So do one there and one on that side. And how high up you want to sew is going to depend on you. So I'm going to push my tail up a little bit further and make sure it's centered. I want it roughly centered in between the eyes. And I'll pin that there. And then I'm going to push my needle out because the very tip of my tail is here and the end of my yarn is there too because that's where we finished off. I'm just going to push that straight out so my needle emerges from the place where I'm going to sew the tail to the body. So for me that's this round here. I'm just going to push that out the first stitch. Can you see that? I'm going to pull that through. And then I'm just going to sew along this point here. What you can do from here is either weave the tail into the body to secure it, or if you're worried about the tail popping out, you can go back in and put some stitches along the curl here where the 2 pieces curl together. I'm not going to do that because even when the tail does come out, it's really easy to just pop it back in again. So I'm not too concerned about that. But if you'd like to make it secure, that is an option. Instead, I'm just going to weave this yarn in and secure it. And at this point, we're pretty much finished with our little chameleons, but there is one more step you can do if you want to add some detail to the eyes. For that, you're going to need your needle and a length of white yarn. And then you're going to insert your needle somewhere into the chameleon's head. I like to start from underneath because that way my end is hidden. And all we're going to do is create an outline around the eye or half the eye in the white yarn. So you're going to push your needle from this bottom point out to the top of the eye, wherever you'd like the white yarn to start. And you want to try and get as close to the safety eye as you can. And this can be a bit tricky sometimes. Once you've pushed your needle through, you're going to pull the white yarn through until you leave just a small tail hanging out of the head from the original stitch you worked into. You don't want to pull that all the way through. From there, you're going to wrap the yarn around the eye, and you can do this as tightly as you like. And you're going to insert your needle into the bottom of the eye somewhere at the point you want the white yarn to stop. And from this point, we're going to push our needles straight across to the top of the other eye in the same position that we emerged from the first eye here, because we want them to look as symmetrical as we can make them. There we go. And I'm going to pull on that yarn firmly so the white yarn lays nice and flat, but keep in mind if you pull too hard, it will disappear. But we can make adjustments to that before we finish off. So I'm going to go down to the bottom of the eye, just check how far down I went here. So I went to this round, about there. And from this point on the bottom of my last eye, I'm going to push my needle straight out of the original stitch I worked into. So you don't have to do that straight away. I'm making a little bit of a detour, so I've gone here first. Pull that tight. And from there, I'm just going to go straight out of my original stitch. Now looking at these two sides, they're a bit uneven at the moment, so I'm going to pull firmly on this end to tighten this second one up. And this one's a bit too tight, so I'm just going to use my needle to pull it loose. And if you pull it too loose, you can just tug on it again. All right, when you're done, you're just going to tie off these two ends together. I usually do about 3 knots. Snip off the excess yarn. And then using your needle or your scissors are usually a bit easier, or even your crochet hook, you're just going to push that knot back into the head to hide it. And there we go, our chameleon is all finished. Thank you all for watching this video. Let me know what you think of these little minis, because I've been having so much fun making them that I'm probably going to make a whole lot more, and I'd just like to know whether or not they should end up on the channel. So do let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you again for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will be back next week with a new pattern.